Hello and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. I'm just watching NXT.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, weighing 251 pounds, ravishing Rick Rude.
I'm telling you, someone's really gonna buy this guy new tights. Ravishing Rick Rude has been wearing Intercontinental Championship Ultimate Warrior tights since he made his debut because he beat Ultimate Warrior to his sights set on the Intercontinental Championship. Rude, you're not on SmackDown. You're not facing Ultimate Warrior anymore, and you're not getting an Intercontinental title shot. You need a new pair of tights. I hope he washes those things. Anyway, Rick Rude kicking off NXT here tonight, and he is set to face off. This is a first time here. He's set to face off against the guy that he ended up on NXT because, well, not because of, but alongside, sorry. It's the other way around. JBL blames Rick Rude for him being here, and JBL has been told if he doesn't make... Hang on. JBL was told if he doesn't compete here tonight in his NXT debut, he will be fined, suspended, and potentially fired. JBL, for those of you that don't know, the first man ever not only to lose an EYS match in a tag match with a guy he isn't associated with, but is also the first man to have a giant tantrum about coming down to NXT and refuse to perform on the brand for the last several weeks. JBL is now at a point where he has serious odds here and he could get released if he continues to refuse to compete on NXT. And so, against his will and wishes, he is on here. And, well, we've already had a prediction in the past. I can't remember who said it, but someone said that there is a chance that JBL might end up doing to NXT what he did to ECW. So I think people have been glad that this guy isn't here on NXT. And for those of you that don't know, JBL is the reason that there is no ECW anymore. He single-handedly killed that brand. So here we go, JBL and Rick Rude kicking off NXT, and obviously JBL has had a very bad season 4. Things have been real down on the former WWE champion, a man who headlined WrestleMania in a WWE Championship match to The Rock, where his record was not only ended by The Rock at WrestleMania, but then beaten by The Rock following WrestleMania. JBL was the longest reigning WWE champion whilst he was eating loss after loss over on SmackDown. And then eventually Rock ended up breaking his record. And now The Rock is the longest reigning WWE champion we've ever had. He's no longer the champion, for those that don't know, but he now holds that record. And JBL absolutely despises what happened at WrestleMania, what went on to happen with The Rock, and with what's happened to him in the recent memory. I mean, who can blame him? Say what you will about JBL, you don't have to like him, but, you know, any fall from grace that's been as hard as JBL's, you gotta feel for that guy just a little bit. I'm not saying NXT necessarily is a demotion. When you look at it in black and white, that's exactly what it is, though. When you go from Raw or SmackDown to NXT, that is, technically speaking, that is a demotion. But you've got to look at it the way some people look at it. It is an opportunity to pick up wins. It is an opportunity to build your momentum back up. You can end up back on Raw. You can end up back on SmackDown. But in the meantime, this is an opportunity to build some investment on you. JBL declares that if he beats Rick Rude here tonight, he should be given first dibs at an EYS match, which we will have in a couple weeks here on NXT. And of course, for those of you that don't know about an EYS matches, that stands for Earn Your Spot. It is a match in which a top-ranking NXT superstar who has earned the opportunity to leave NXT and graduate up to Raw or SmackDown faces a bottom-ranked superstar from Raw or SmackDown of their choice. If they beat that opponent, then they exchange places. The NXT superstar moves to Raw or SmackDown, wherever they chose, and the Raw or SmackDown person moves down here to NXT. That's how both JBL and Rick Rude ended up here. They lost to the Primetime Players. And obviously they did not form a relationship with one another. And I wonder how things will pan out for these two here on NXT. Obviously, one of these two is about to pick up their first win in a while. Up next, the new NXT Women's Champion AJ Lee is in action. She faces off against Natalya. That's a dream match for a lot of people, I'm sure. Everybody loves Natalya. And then in our main event tonight, Jake Roberts says he wants to rewind time and go back to where it all went wrong because of one man who will not be named. Jake Roberts has declared war on Big E Langston, and he has said, tonight I want to beat you, and then I will beat you again and become NXT champion, and my snake pit will be complete. For those of you that don't know, the snake pit, a trio led by Jake Roberts with his disciples, as he calls them, Wolf Kessler and Tensai, who just won the NXT Tag Team Championship back last week on NXT. Now Jake Roberts sets his sights on the NXT Championship held by Big E Langston, and we've been told that Jake Roberts will be personally ensuring that the same mistake doesn't happen with Wolf and Tensai this week. They will not be present for his match against Big E Langston. Rick Rude absolutely dominating JBL right now. Did he just do Justin Gabriel's finisher? Holy moly. That move does no damage. Cover attempt here from Rick Rude and a kick out by JBL. I want to remind you, this is a former WWE champion, JBL. And here comes the Rude Awakening. Is that all for JBL? Cover attempt here. No, JBL with a kick out. I really thought for a minute there JBL was finished already. Drops him down on the mat.
Man, this is one of those matches you just like to sit back and enjoy watching. And he gets out of the way.
Into the corner. JBL sends Rick Rude and strikes him in the midsection. Big elbows. Oh, one after another.
Look at those eyes.
JBL now measuring up. What's he looking for here? The clothesline from hell? No, doesn't connect. Rick Rude blocking the clothesline from hell, a move that ensured JBL was WWE champion time after time. But Rick Rude able to reverse it. Not that time! Holy shit! Sorry, pardon my language, but man, that move is beautiful. I mean, it's devastating, but it's incredible. JBL and a kick out. What? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I see Rick Rude's head in the 5th row. JBL turned over by Rick Rude. Something's got to change for JBL and soon. Cover attempt here on JBL and a kick out. Into the corner he goes. Side suplex takes down Rick Rude. Rude showing some serious heart there, and it is no surprise. That clothesline from hell is insane. It is devastating. Do it again. JBL slams down Rick Rude. You know, for a guy who didn't want to compete here on NXT, he's put on a great showing. And I thought he had him for a minute there. The referee hand almost down 2.9, I'd say. JBL once again, pump handle. JBL with that submission locked in on Rick Rude, but Rude reaches the ropes. JBL favoring the head. Of course, he took the Rude Awakening moments ago. And Rick Rude with a roll up here. This could be enough to put JBL away. JBL with a kick out.
Squeezing down on the head.
I almost saw the anagram, JBL, just born a loser. Is that an anagram? I don't know if that's an anagram, actually, but either way, I once saw that, and, well, this season, that's been very true. Oh my god. Oh, I thought he was going to do a pile driver. Never mind, he just did that. Don't let that be the finish. But of course it will be. JBL covered. He kicks out. Okay. JBL kicking Rick Rude in the midsection. What's he going to do here? DDT. That move was almost as devastating as when Jake Roberts does it. JBL with a neck breaker. Takes down Rick Rude. And now JBL into the cover on Rick Rude. It's over. JBL getting in with a neck breaker of his own. And the former WWE champion picks up a victory in his NXT debut. This guy doesn't even want to be touched by an NXT referee. I mean, ignore the fact that that's the same guy that referees every single match for the last several years. This guy is livid. He hates NXT. Oh my god. JBL, the winner here tonight as we move on to our next match. The NXT Women's Champion AJ Lee makes her first appearance since winning the championship. She faces off against Natalya.
The following Divas contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Natalya.
Well, say what you will about Natalya. I know that historically there's always been a bit of a divide on how people feel about Natalya. Some people really respect her commitment to her craft and in-ring talents and so on. Others don't always really appreciate Natalya. But I'll say this, I think she's pretty great at what she does. And I think here tonight, this NXT debut, I believe this is for Natalya. This is a big opportunity for her. Obviously, AJ Lee, I want to root for AJ because I was so excited to finally see her win the NXT Women's Championship. But well, I'd be lying if I said that Natalya didn't deserve an opportunity down the line. She is a great former champion, and obviously now finally NXT Women's Champion. She's apparently had the torch passed to her by Lita. I don't know if we've seen the last of Lita. There's still not been any confirmation or denial of that. But Lita says that the torch has been passed, and obviously AJ winning the Women's Championship is the icing on the cake that was the right move. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So here we go. What a start to a match. Knocking around a mid-air there. AJ Lee, very impressive.
We're in the feeling out process here. Who's going to get the advantage and maintain control?
Maintain control.
What aggression by AJ. Oh, what a painful kick.
My leg's just gone dead. Oh no.
Well scouted there by the diva AJ. Natalya.
Side suplex here by Natalya, and unfortunately, Summer Rae with some rather bitter post-championship loss comments. She said, "Don't worry, AJ, I'll be getting that championship back soon. If there's one thing you're known for, it's getting the big one and then letting everybody down just weeks later." So, of course, Summer Rae planning on getting her rematch for the NXT Women's Championship in the near future, but AJ might not even make it there. You got to think if she loses to Natalya here tonight, that would put Natalya in contention for the NXT Women's Championship, no doubt. Natalya is a former Women's and Divas Champion. Of course, you got to think as well, for the few that held the Women's and Divas Championship, this is an opportunity to win all three. To be able to say that you won the old retired Women's Championship, the retired Divas Championship, and the new NXT Women's Championship. That is potential for, I don't think very many women, actually. I think maybe even just Natalya, now that there is a potential that Lita is not coming back. We don't really know the status on whether or not Lita is truly gone, as I've already said. But, I believe, actually, yeah, Natalya is the only one that could get that. Because I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure AJ Lee was only ever Divas Champion. She never held the Women's Championship. Well, I mean, she got the NXT Women's Championship, but, you know, it's different.
Big kick echoing around the arena. Huge shot to the temple. Brutal impact.
Natalya is really dominating AJ Lee right now, and I do hate to admit it, but Summer Rae's got a point. Every time AJ Lee wins a championship, I mean, historically 2 times so far, she has kind of, it's like all the momentum is riding on that one win, and she finally does it. Everyone's so excited and happy for her, and then she just kind of crumbles. Something just goes wrong, and she goes back to her losing ways again.
Another possible momentum shift in this matchup. How is this happening, King? How is Natalya able to take this amount of damage? Oh, geez. You know, these... No!
Ooh, wow. Tough crash and burn. Reminds me of when Natalya won the Divas Championship from Lita by rolling out of the way of a moonsault, just like that. The Lita salt, as they call it. Roll up attempt there, only a 2. And reversal. Only a 1 count. All a shut up. I'm still not over King of the Ring 95 I watched recently, and I had to look at Jerry Lawler's nasty foot for way too long. I hate that guy right now. Cover attempt with a sliced bread, and there's a kick out at 2. Never watched King of the Ring 95. Worst mistake of my life. And here we go. The octopus stretch by AJ Lee, which historically just does not win her matches. I don't know why she keeps doing it. With all due love and respect for AJ Lee and her talents, I really don't know why she keeps trying this move. Well, Natalya remains in this matchup and ooh, catches her in the corner there. And now Natalya with a discus clothesline. Smart move. Here's the cover on AJ. Oh, she kicks out.
How did AJ kick out of that? Nicely reversed there by Natalya. Well, look at this move, Cole. Well, look at this move, Cole. This could do it. Gets the shoulder up.
Kick out there by Natalya. Just 2. Good competition here tonight for AJ Lee. Hopefully not too tough of competition. I'm an AJ Lee believer. I think there's a few of us still out there. It's been so physical. Is there anything else that you want to say what to? Never mind. Natalya now got AJ Lee right where she wants her. She is a submission expert after all. Is this going to be the end? Oh, AJ Lee able to reach the ropes. That's my Jerry Lawler impression. Any chance I get, I always shit on Jerry Lawler. It just happens. It just happens. Which is funny because in the time period of WWF I've been watching, he is the saving grace. If not for how shitty 95 is in general, as I said on Raw recently, I cannot stress beyond how much of a shitty, awful, terrible human being who I hope burns that Vince McMahon is. I just want to say, I despise him on commentary. As the time has gone on and I've watched more and more old stuff, I am getting to a point where I am now skipping through episodes because I can't stand listening to his commentary. It's so awful. Lawler is the saving grace on commentary, and that is hard to say. Kick out at 2. Whoa. Natalya has ascended, everybody. Oh, never mind, she's back down. Breaker by Natalya to AJ Lee. I mean, I'm sure people feel that way about my commentary. It's just, holy shit. I literally spend like the first 5 minutes of an episode being like, oh my god, can we please just find a way to mute this guy? And that's before you get into how much he actually sucks as a person. Discus clothesline takes down AJ Lee. 2, 3, there you go. Natalya with the win over AJ Lee, and unfortunately, Summer Rae's prediction that AJ Lee will crumble once again. Well, it's off to a bad start.
Here is your winner, Natalya. What an incredible match.
Well, AJ Lee has always been the lovable underdog, but part of being the underdog is that you, well, you're under. You're kind of, you're on the losing end of a lot of things, unfortunately, and here tonight is no different for AJ Lee. A tough loss from the discus clothesline for a second time. Natalya defeats the NXT Women's Champion, and you got to think an opportunity may be down the line for Natalya to become the first woman to have ever held the Divas, Women's, and NXT Women's Championships in her career. As we now move on, up next, it is our main event. Jake Roberts says there will be no involvement from the Snake Pit, and he will take down Big E Langston tonight. Okay, please disregard the Orlando floor at the top. I have some explaining in a second.
The contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia, weighing 249 pounds, Jake the Snake Roberts.
It happened again. I went to change the match rules to make sure that interference was turned off, so this would be a straightforward one-to-one match. And forgot that that's where the simulate button is on the match confirmation settings. And it doesn't ask you if you're sure or anything in this game. You press simulate, it goes, okay, and then it simulates. So that happened. Now he's being booed when he's not supposed to be, because it's going by exhibition reactions. Well, Big E Langston, the NXT champion, has got one of the best win-loss records in this series, this universe. I believe since Bret Hart, this is actually up there as one of the best records this whole universe, believe it or not. Bret Hart, by the way, he retired 22-3. Well, he's not retired, but you know what I mean. Like, he's taking time away. He may return one day. He finished up at 22-3. For the record, Andre the Giant, who Big E Langston defeated for the championship, is 16-4. Big E Langston right now is 18-2. This man has only ever lost twice since debuting. And they were both to Andre the Giant for the NXT Championship. Say what you will about his rise to the NXT title and how stunted it may have felt when he went up against Andre, but this guy has only ever lost 2 of his 20 career matches. So here we go. The bell has been rung. The match begins. Jake Roberts has said that he will make sure that Wolf Kessler and Tensai will be nowhere near this match tonight. And it's not just for Big E Langston, it's for him too. He says he wants to make sure that he puts an end to this unstoppable fiend that is Big E Langston. He wants that NXT championship so bad. And you know the crazy thing, Jake Roberts, I've said this before, and I don't like to sound disrespectful, because I think Jake Roberts, he's on a tear right now. I feel like this is one of the key things happening here in NXT. This is huge. The Snake Pit, it's a big deal. Jake Roberts, I would say, has turned his career completely around from the guy that basically near enough didn't exist back in season 1 when he first made his appearance back in 2009 / early 2010. Jake Roberts, he went away for all those years. He came back, and at first we didn't really know what to expect of this guy, but as time has gone on, he has become this driven, dangerous, psychotic, just fiendish type person. I don't know what's going on in that mind. I mean, maybe he was that all along. We just never saw it back in season 1, but this return here in season 4, this run that he's had since coming here to NXT, this is the very pinnacle, the very definition of what you would call a career rejuvenation. I mean, you think about how Jake Roberts ended up here on NXT. He lost an EYS match, and I honestly feel like his career turned out much more for the better after losing that match. I feel like it really turned things around for him in a good way. Who did Jake Roberts lose to in an EYS match? Was it? I think it was Razor Ramon. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's who he lost to. I believe it was Razor Ramon. Let me have a look here. Yeah, he lost to Razor Ramon. And okay, his win-loss record's not great. It's 4-10 overall. 4-9 this season. He only competed once in season 1, so no wonder we never really got much of a taste for what he was like. Apparently he competed in the debut edition of ECW. He was in a battle royal that Ricky Steamboat won to determine a participant in an upcoming inaugural ECW Championship match. That was his only appearance on January 21st. He was released March 8th, back in 2010. Made his return April 7th. And he started off suffering losses as per the usual over on Raw and Superstars. But I feel like even though his win-loss record doesn't show too promising of a change, I feel like what he has achieved under the leadership of the Snake Pit, I feel like we are now beginning to see the real Jake Roberts. And I feel like Big E Langston is experiencing the wrath of this man up close and personal right now. And I wonder if Big E is perhaps regretting accepting this match.
WWE fans, watch. Here we go. Here we go. He's hanging on for dear life. Oh, man, this has got to hurt. And the shoulders come up. Call your friends. Let them know what's going on right now in this awesome match.
Okay, I appear to have a bite on my arm from something. It's swollen up quite a bit. Sorry, I was wondering what that was because I was feeling a bit of pain there. I think I've been bit by like a spider or something. I don't know. That's unrelated. I just that's why I went quiet for a minute there, because I was like, what is that under my arm that hurts? And I've got like some kind of swelling. Jake Roberts takes down Big E Langston. Roberts now taking Langston away from the ropes as he goes in for the cover, and that's just a 1 count. Comes in with those strikes, and side suplex takes down Jake Roberts. Big right hand. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The one thing I'm very interested in as we get towards the end of the season is we may be saying goodbye to some people on the rosters, and it'll be interesting to see what the shape of NXT is like in the coming months, because although we'll be saying goodbye to some people, the reason I bring this up is because obviously the start of a new season, there's going to be like a whole new era of NXT coming up, basically, because that's where a lot of the new signees will go. And obviously in the start of a new season, there are a lot of new signees, so NXT will go through a metamorphosis. It will become a completely different brand to what we currently know it as. And it'll be very interesting to see what the future NXT is like. And obviously, ooh, how integral of a part Big E Langston will be if he is still the NXT champion at that point. Big E pulled away from the ropes. Cover attempt here by Jake the Snake Roberts. No, just a 1 count. And Jake the Snake coming in with that DDT. No one delivers it better than Jake Roberts. Cover here on Big E. Oh my god, I thought he beat him. Langston. Roberts. He is getting into a very twisted and depraved state. He's taking pleasure in the punishment he's dishing out here. It's one of those rare occasions as well, you noticed, where Big E... Oh, but hang on, a big ending here. Big ending, that came out of nowhere. Cover attempt here from Big E Langston. Oh, and Jake Roberts kicks out. As I say, this is one of those rare occasions where Jake Roberts actually towers over Big E Langston. I don't think Big E is used to being up against bigger opponents. Obviously, he faced off against Andre the Giant enough times, but you know what I'm saying, obviously. This is... Jake Roberts, very tall man. I never really noticed this before. Maybe Big E's just not that tall. I'm not really sure anymore. Turning his world upside down with the Tree of Woe. Driving that boot right into the face of Big E Langston. Roberts, who's very much been in control for the time being, despite the big ending. But Big E showing that power. Remember, it was... I'm not really supposed to say his name, but I don't think Roberts is going to hear me right now. It was in his last match these two had, it was Big John started coming out when he did, that ended the match the way it did. Roberts was seconds away from pinning Big E Langston when Studd came out. This distraction ended up costing Roberts what could have been the pinfall from the DDT. Please don't end it here whilst I'm in the middle of talking about this. Okay. But yeah, that very well could have been the end right there, but Studd ended up screwing things up, and then the moment Roberts was focused on what was happening in the ring again, he was getting hit with the big ending, and it was the end of the match. So this really is the answer to what could have been for Jake Roberts right now. Oh, big knee across the face of Big E Langston. Tie-up catching Roberts here, and Langston now coming in with a suplex. Gets it. Good reversal there by Jake Roberts as he catches Big E. Oh no, takedown once again. Knee to the midsection. Roberts he's not backing off. I've spoken before about that do or die attitude, that style of wrestling we've seen so many times from so many people that have nothing to lose. And I feel like that's Jake Roberts right now. This man has nothing to lose should Big E Langston defeat him, and that is why he has everything riding on this match, because his whole world changes if he beats the unbeatable. Big E Langston has lost 2 matches, I said before. 2 matches since his debut. And both of those, which were Andre the Giant. Back body drop there by Big E as he goes for the cover on Roberts, and Roberts still kicks out. Knee to the midsection of Big E Langston. Knee drop to the face. That's very Triple H-esque in its delivery. Langston with a reversal here on Roberts, and now Langston takes down Jake Roberts. You really feel like these two are just giving it their all out there. I've said this many times, I stand by. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Big E Langston outside of NXT. I feel like right now, we're in a great era of Big E. I'm enjoying him as the top guy on NXT. I'd hate to see this end anytime soon. But I also cannot wait to see what comes of Big E Langston after NXT. Jake Roberts bleeding his own blood. What does that do to someone like Jake Roberts as he calls for the DDT? He looks to put Big E Langston away. DDT, oh my god. The impact of that DDT sent Big E flying across the ring. Cover attempt on the NXT champion, and oh my god. Jake Roberts has just beaten the unbeatable. Hey, what is it? Jake Roberts with that snake. People suspect that's what happened to Studd. He's in there. Well, probably not anymore. And oh my god, Jake Roberts. Someone's got to stop this guy. Big E Langston getting choked out after being busted open from the DDT. This guy's sick. Well, Jake Roberts closes out tonight's episode of NXT with a win, and you've got to imagine this means there is an NXT Championship rematch between these two on the horizon. Jake Roberts with a huge victory. Thank you for watching NXT. I'll see you on SmackDown.